So, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for having me in InfoComm 2020. My name is Ronen Artman, VP Marketing at LiveView, and I'm here to discuss transforming remote production in the age of 5G. We'll talk about a couple of things and how we changed the rules of the game with the Elliott 100, our latest multi-camera native 5G units. But let me start by 2013, I was a guest of InfoComm, actually meeting people in person. That was the days that probably very hard for any one of us to imagine at the moment. But those were the days where actually I could shake hands and greet and meet you before and after. And I do hope that in 2021, I'll be able to be a guest of the organization again, but this time in person and not virtually. Before I start, I want to talk a couple of words about LiveView for those that are not familiar with what we do. So LiveView was formed back in 2006. We pioneer the space of cellular bonding, leading broadcast technology to the news, sport worlds, and delivering 4K HVC live video all over the world. We have about more than 3,000 customers. Our units spread across the entire universe. Actually, we just broke the record of usage of units 2 days ago, actually on Tuesday on the US election. We have over 20,000 units. We deliver about 20 million annual live sessions and an impressive number of live transmission counted in terabyte. When we look at list of customers, obviously LiveView catering what we call all tier one broadcasters, all the way from the top news outlets, NBC, CNN, BBC, Sky News, sports, FIFA, Liverpool, NBA, NFL. Many of the brands are using us, and also a lot of online outlets, what we call AOL, Facebook, The Telegraph, Wall Street Journals, and others. So quite an impressive list of customers ranging from all the way from news, sports, brands, and online. And again, from traditional TV stations to brand to online media. On the base of the technology, seems simple. But what we do, you most probably familiar with our backpacks that includes several modems with SIM cards, 4G or 5G from local cellular carriers in each of the countries. And actually we take the signal that's coming from the camera, we split it between those up to 8 cellular connections. We determine what to send over each one of those cellular networks. We send it over the internet, and then on the MCR, on the location, there is a physical or cloud server that actually bond all those streams together to produce an HD or 4K signal that can be delivered either to your cell phone, to the TV, to the online, or to distribute elsewhere in the world. So most of our technology is based on that patent technology that we patented back in 2006. But you can, there are different type of products. They are mostly differ from each other by the number of SIM cards inside. And of course, because it's a cellular network and because it's unreliable, we kind of optimize the signal that goes over that cellular networks every half a second, and we determine where packets should go and to which cellular coverage depends on the reliability for each cellular channel. So that's what we do, and I think from a technology perspective. And let's move on. So, most of the questions that I get most often is, in the age of 5G, would you still need bonding? Wouldn't 5G will provide you everything that you need for a reliable broadcast? So just for that, let's look at what Fox Sport is saying, that significant savings are obtained using cellular that when commercially available will include 5G to provide increased capacity and speed. So yes, 5G will bring a lot of advantages into the world that we live in, but we do believe that even with the age of 5G, you will need some sort of bonding, because what we see up to now, that despite the fact that the download speed will increasingly change the way that we connect and interact with the technology, the upload speed, so far what we've seen, it's not enough if you consider to do 4K and 8K delivery of live signal. And for that reason, you will need the bonding. So if you look at the evolution of cellular networks, and you know that the same question that I was asked, like, okay, in the 5G, would you need cellular bonding? Same question I was asking 4G, the same question I was asking in 3G. So if you look right now in 2018 and where live view is, you'll see that right now with the 4G advanced LTE, we are matching satellite performance in delay, quality, in reliability. And on the left one, on the left corner, you see in orange what satellite is currently producing. At the age of 5G, will be deliver much better delay, much better quality, and much better reliability. So it actually takes us, live view or cellular bonding, in a complete different space. But we're here to discuss remote production. So let's move and talk about what is remote production. So remote production, and especially in the age of COVID-19, became one of the biggest assets that companies are looking for because of social distancing. So producing multi-camera events, usually you do it today with a centralized studio or OB van. But when we bring remote production, you're actually removing those aspects, and you can save probably up to 70% of your current production cost. So if we think about remote production, how it can be leveraged, and what we've been leveraging it in the age of, especially in COVID, we produce basketball events, formula racing, golf, rugby, marathon, and polo. Most of them are movable sports, and most of them, as you will note beside the basketball one, are those that are used to do outdoors, where the remote production and the bonding technology is bringing a new dimension of coverage. So when we're talking about remote production, let's talk about, first of all, the regular one. So on the regular production, you have your field acquisition units or cameras based on the arena, sending their feed into an OB van, which is that usually park outside the arena. And then they are using fiber or satellite to move all the video back to the distribution. And from there, it goes to the homes of the spectators. In the age of remote production, we're actually taking out this OB van and replacing it with a live view unit. So the live view unit can accept, the Elliott 100 that I'll soon talk about, can accept up to 4 simultaneous connections. So you connect to each one of the units 4 cameras, all of them frame synced. You send it over 4G and 5G in our case. You send it into the distribution center where actually they can edit, they can switch between the camera feeds, they can add voiceover, they can add graphic, and distribute it. More than that, we provide also an IP camera control. So if you have on your arena PTZ cameras, there is a separate channel that will allow you to control those cameras. So in the age of remote production, all you need to send to the field is probably a very small camera crew to set up the cameras. But from that moment on, you can rely everything on a live view technology, and you can have your fixed location on anywhere in the world with minimum delay and control it and distribute it. So let's see how it works in real life.
Best snowboarders. Short snow. Switch 360 up to the rail. Josh Anderson. Luke Stevens. Let's hear some noise. Johnny Kenny.
So, how did we do it? We had a small team of 3 on the mountain at Mount Buller capturing the action. Each camera operator had a live view bonded streaming unit that splits and sends the video data via multiple 4G and 3G networks. With only 1 second delay, it makes its way across the country to our Adelaide office, where the dedicated server pieces each video back together and automatically synchronizes them with live view's precision timing. Our video switcher and live director cut those videos, add commentary, music and graphics, then output the final product to Facebook Live. Ta-da! Thanks to LiveView's plug-and-play solution to at-home production, professional broadcasting is easy and affordable for our clients, even in remote areas.
So especially when we're talking about COVID-19, that put huge restrictions on the amount of people that can actually arrive to a special scene or to the arena, and not talking about budget. I mean, most of those production teams had to cut their budget immensely. And with that in mind, when they have all those restrictions, we came up and said, we can produce that same level but you can keep your production team in your home location without driving them and produce it the same way that you used to produce it, but again, much easy and again, with a lot of cost effectiveness. But when we do talk about remote production, there are 4 major factors that impact the way that you produce it. First of all is the video quality. Second is the latency. We have to make sure that what happens in the arena, you get it at home without a delay. Otherwise, you will not get the live action of that. Video reliability and sync. Once you have multiple cameras on the field itself, on the arena itself, you have to make sure that they are all frame sync. So when they are getting back into the studio for editing, the editors can completely managing it without trying to apply set of rules. So all the cameras are synced. So on the age of 4G, those are still relevant. Will actually improve each and every one of those boxes. It will bring you the ability to deliver a much better video quality. Latency obviously will be much better. Video reliability because of the infrastructure of 5G and sync. All those will be 5G will provide a solution. More than that, because of the higher bit rate, you can start doing VR and AR, 360 video, HDR, but you need the bonding for stability and reliability even when you're doing those remote. And then it opens up the solution for even LiveView to get into what we call tier 1 sports right now. So we will be able on the 5G to deliver the finals of the UEFA Cup. We will be able to deliver the NBA final, what usually something that is right now because most of those production companies relies on satellite and fiber connectivities. We will be able to provide that. And with the lower latency, obviously, I don't think that I need to get into much detail what lower latency will bring. it will bring you much more to the action. And when you think about remote production, and if the event is taking place in the US, you'll still be able to do the remote production in Italy. And if it happens to in Australia, you will be able to do it in the UK, no matter where. Those 5G, the 5G infrastructure will enable us to provide a much better service for those production companies who are doing that. So 5G is set to change remote production, and it will support high-end production with higher bandwidth and super low latency, which is crucial. We just talked about it. It will allow you to go live from crowded venues, because if 5G will bring it to the premise with network slicing, you will be able, those companies will be able to guarantee that broadcasts will have the allocated bandwidth to use it, while spectators, when they are back in the stadiums, will have the sufficient bandwidth to do whatever they want to do. Take videos and send WhatsApp and send and talk, but there will be no matching between those. There will no contradiction. What we see right now in 4G, once you go into an arena and there are more than 20, 30,000 people in one arena, it's very hard. You probably all experience that. You're trying to get a phone when you are in the Allianz Arena, you cannot, because there is not enough bandwidth. And top of that, it will reduce production costs, because once you can build on the premise of 5G, and once that you have a guaranteed bandwidth, you can less rely on satellite, and you can less rely on fiber, which we all know costs a lot. So we definitely think that 5G is set to change the way that remote production is going to be produced. Talking about 5G in the broadcast, so in the recent Nevion research, 92% of the broadcasts, which is the majority of them, claim or say that they're going to adopt within 2 years. They're going to adopt a 5G within 2 years. And 46 of them already tested 5G. So it means that we are really, everyone believes in that. Everyone sees the value, and everybody thinks that it will bring a lot of value, no matter what you're doing, news or sports. And I think that's a great premise for the 5G. And I think 5G right now needs to deliver, which if you compare that to the widespread of 5G, I think there is a little bit a different standard right now where things stand. But I do believe that the evolution and the implementation of 5G will bring it, and you will see it across Europe and across the world. So talking about units and talking about live view, where have we been in the 5G? So I think from the beginning of 2019, we thought that 5G is gonna change the way, and we thought that 5G is the way that we need to move forward. And therefore, we designed a completely new product that is what we call native 5G. The modems inside, the antennas, working with the leading brands of the world, was specifically designed to use and to utilize 5G to the full capacity. So within the LEO 800, there are up to 8 5G internal dual C modems. Dual C meaning that you can put row A of your local country and row B from a different country. It optimized for 5G operation. It supports the unique modems that 5G brought, the antennas, power consumption and cooling configuration that 5G requires, which is very similar, very different from what 4G has to. The move from 3G to 4G was probably less painful for cellular networks and companies like us. The move to 5G is a completely different. You have to completely change your infrastructure from what we develop, and obviously from the cellular carriers. And future-proof, we'll look at 5G no matter where the evolution of 5G will go up, all the way up to network slicing. We will be there to support it with the unit. So to look at 5G and to look at what we did so far, I'm going to share with you a couple of case studies just to talk about it. So the NBA Summer League, which is happens every year in Vegas, they wanted to see how 5G will actually take it to a different level, how we can help them to deliver a different experience. So they did, AT&T, the NBA teamed up with us, and actually we provide a set of smartphones, Samsung smartphones, all of them with our app, which is a specifically app that use all our algorithms. And using 5G, they said, how about we give those cameras on the phone, we give it to the people who are sitting on the benches, who are sitting all around, and let them cover the game. We'll get all this coverage from them, and we'll mix it as if the game is viewed by the people who are sitting on the court side. And they want to bring a different level of coverage. So it's not only the 4 or 8 cameras or 16 cameras that you see, but how about if every person on the stands actually have a camera and can support and can provide his input and coverage, and they can mix it as part of that. So the live footage from the devices was available on NBA and ESPN and on social media. And let's see how they covered it.
I'm Andy Meskin. I'm the Director of Lab Operations for the Warner Media Innovation Lab. We are bringing together the best of innovation across the entire company. Here at Summer League, what's happening here is this amazing intersection of this great partnership that Warner Media has historically had with NBA and Summer League and NBA TV, and brought in the 5G expertise of AT&T to actually make the first broadcast of an NBA game using 5G smartphones in the arena.
What we're showcasing here is an app that we've created that operates on an iOS or an Android device that essentially turns your phone into a broadcast type camera.
It was really a historic event. I mean, it was the first time it ever happened that cell phones were used to broadcast any sport. We have Samsung phones, and we have loaded an application from LiveView, 5G radios up on top of the basketball court, over the basketball court. We had to install a 5G core. It exceeded everybody's expectations. That was the best part of it.
I think that what we're doing here at the Summer League is a great example of rapid prototyping, being agile, and working with our partners such as the NBA. And we went from ideation less than 6 weeks ago to here we are at a live event using 5G as a transport for a live game.
Yeah, I can see the video is still running. Yeah, one day Zoom will have to figure out how to sync videos and have them run much more smoothly. But at the end of the day, when we're looking about how 5G can take us to the next level, so we give examples of remote production. Now it's a good example of taking 5G and actually expanding the coverage of sports mainly, because I think when we're talking about 5G, the main advantage it will bring is to the world of sports, because this is where exactly you need more. This is where people want striving for more content. But think about also music concerts. We all hope that we'll be able to go back to the arenas and watch our favorite bands. But think of you that you have a 5G app on your phone, and your vision of the game, your vision of the concert can be mixed as part of what are the production company or the broadcasting are thinking of, and create a much more experienced way and a much more interesting way for the people who are sitting at home and watching it, whether on TV, whether on cell phone, or whether on the internet, they can get that. So we do hope, and I do believe that the 5G will bring much more into the world of sports and entertainment, especially. Um, Fox Sports has done a very interesting one. They're covering the U.S. Open on a yearly basis. This year, they thought about what if instead of doing it the conventional way, meaning we're doing it on fiber and satellite, we'll do it over cellular bonding with 5G. So they teamed up again with the U.S. Open, and they brought 5G into the arena, and they produce it on a dual way. They did it also on satellite and fiber, and they did it on 5G. And what they found out that you can save all the way up to 60 or 80%. And 5G is a technology that could drive the saving of millions of dollars over the course of production year in terms of fiber deployment and backhaul transmission. Because if you can think that you can bring to any remote location, you can bring your set of 5G devices, and based on that, you can do your production without the need for any physical infrastructure or without cabling. You can save millions of dollars over the course of a year, and that's Fox Sports exactly what they thought about, and they produced it. And they produced the 4K video over 5G, and it was a great success. I urge you to go and find this case study and read it through. It really gives you kind of where the sports market is going and where it's going to be once 5G is fully deployed all across the nations and all across those golf courses and other remote places. When we're talking about 5G, also we've been experimenting and we've been playing. We've been doing, if you can see on the bottom, working with AT&T, with NTT Docomo in Japan, with Vodafone Italy, with KT in Korea. Actually, we were the first one to provide full coverage for the Korean election, all on 5G network. We're using some Sky tests. We are participating multiple European 5G consortiums. Some of them are also looking into determining what will the next set of application. So 5G tours, it's another good example of how touring and how virtual touring in the age of 5G will bring people. So you won't be, COVID right now, you cannot travel anywhere, but assume with VR and AR, you will be able to actually to be part of any place in the world experiencing that. So that's yet another consortium. So we've been really, I think, putting a lot of heavy mileage or heavy production from LiveView into 5G. And we do believe that 5G is here to stay. And we do believe that we can bring a lot of value in working with 5G, and especially supporting broadcasters and production companies with our units to deliver the best quality possible video over to the people wherever they are. So if we need to summarize, if I need to summarize what is the premise of 5G, so I try to put kind of two things that I do believe, because 5G can open creativity for directors. Because right now you are not bound for anything that you want to do, because 5G can support you, especially when you're working with LiveView on the portability side of things. So if you're thinking how to produce an event, how to cover an event, it opens for those directors as a whole world of ideas. If you want to do it from airplanes, if you want to bring helicopters, if you want to follow it with cars, with bicycle, if you want to run after things, you want to do anything that you can think of, 5G will bring you those premise and will allow much more creativity in producing news, sports event, entertainment, education, tourism, anything that you can think of. I'll give you a good example that we are doing right now with NTT Docomo in Japan. We started to do telemedicine. 60 hospitals in Japan are already equipped with LiveView equipment that will allow you to do remote operations from those hospitals. So NTT Docomo is providing the 5G infrastructure. We are providing the units. And together we are allowing doctors to provide and to instruct surgeons all over Japan in doing remote surgery. And this is a POC that started right now. And this is just one example how telcos and how other companies can take that to the next level. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the opportunity to present 5G and LiveView in front of the Infocom people. If you have any questions, you're welcome to any questions?
Mr. Artman, you are finished?
I do, I am.
Okay. We have a problem that we can't see you in the screen. Can you stop and play again your camera?
Yes, I can. It seems like they're...
Μέχρι ο κύριος Artman doesn't matter. I will give you the question that we have from the audience. Mr. Artman, can you hear me?
I can hear very well.
Okay. How is it to expand 5G technology over satellites for ships communication? What is your solution about shipping?
Can you repeat the question?
How is it to expand 5G technology over satellites for ships communication? And my question is, what is your solution generally about shipping?
About?
The shipping industry.
Shipping industry, yeah. Obviously, when you're taking bonding technology and you're taking cellular technology into the shipping, obviously we cannot. There is no connectivity of 5G. But we do provide any connectivity to beacon or satellite terminals into the units, and we actually have a good example right now that we are covering all the Volvo yacht racing. So those are actually using LiveView units connected to beacons or satellite terminals, and the same way that you can connect to your cellular network while you are on the ground, the same way you connect to any satellite or satellite terminal while you are in places where you cannot get any transmission or any bandwidth from cellular connectivity.
I have another question. Could you please elaborate a bit why we need bonding with 5G? Why we need bonding for 5G?
Okay. As I mentioned at the beginning, what we've seen right now, that especially when we see on 5G, the download speed will accelerate far more than what we know right now. But the upload speed will increase, but they want the change from 4G to 5G will be significant, but not as the download speed. So therefore, once 5G is fully deployed and once everybody is on the 5G network, you probably, with a single channel, will have hard time to deliver 4K and 8K on a single channel, and you will have to rely on bonding of several of those 5G networks. And that is why even on the world of 5G, you will have to have the bonding technology included when you need to do a 4K or even a reliable transmission from crowded places.
Okay.